Yeah, so hi and welcome to my short review about the Anycubic Photon Mono and the new Anycubic wash and cure machine. So I've had this for 2 days now, and I have done a couple of prints. I'm actually up at 9 prints, of which only one has been a misprint. First impressions are this is a really cool machine. I never owned resin 3D printer before. I only had FDM printers before, which I'm gonna do a separate video of. But I'm really impressed. Right now I'm printing up some bolt action tanks just to try it out. I bought with this printer, I bought the Anycubic Eco UV resin, the clear one, and with the settings, like the stock settings for the machine, this works great. Um, the only thing I could have a negative comment about there is the Anycubic slicer, which isn't quite that intuitive as maybe Prusa slicer or Cura or Shitu box. But I'm figuring Shitu box will support the PVMO files very soon, and I will be able to use that. The printer is compared to the Photon and Photon S really quick. I only have exposure time at 1.5 seconds, I think, which speeds up prints immensely. And the quality, it's a 2K resolution. The screen is slightly bigger than the Photon and the Photon S, but still you have a higher resolution. I think it's about 30% higher resolution. So after printing, when I remove the prints, I dunk them in this methylated alcohol. It's to rinse off the worst, because IPA is pretty hard to get at the moment. And after that, I put them in this holder for the that comes with the cure machine, and then into the IPA. So and then I just put it on the plate and it spins and cures it. It's a really easy process. The prints I've done so far are from the Titan Forge September release, the Ogors. I think you might not see very much of it right now, but the print quality is ridiculous. These are, once painted, at my level, nobody will see a difference from a print or from a casted model. The smaller figures, I think you're not going to see them so much, but the minis have turned a bit opaque, and it is I'm not sure if it's the resin not getting any harder, or if there is some issue with my hard exposure times or something like that, but it rubs off a little bit. I can show you here on the walrus, which in itself is a beautiful print, but looking on the underside, I can scratch the surface. I'm not in a hurry, so I'm gonna leave these ones out in the sun. Here I can show you my tracks for my Sherman tank. I took these off before. Auto support generated by the Anycubic slicer are quite tough, and I will have to use clippers to get these off. There is probably more material in the supports than in the print itself, but still, I mean, it's like it's gonna be a $350 Sherman tank, and buying them here in Sweden will set you back about $25 to $30. So first impressions and conclusion. Actually, I'll come to the conclusion. What do I say about the Anycubic photon? Should you buy it? That's probably why you're watching this. If you're thinking about getting a resin 3D printer, then I really suggest that you actually do, especially at the price right now. If you have thought about it for a longer period of time, I would suggest you might want to buy the bigger one, the Mono X or the Mono SE. I cheaped out buying my first FDM printer, and I bought the Anycubic Mega Zero, which in hindsight I regret, because now it's just came to the point where I bought the Prusa Mini and a Prusa Mini clone. And yeah, buying cheap, you usually buy twice. Will I ever get a bigger photon? Probably, yeah, but at the moment I don't have the funds to do so. I was hesitant before buying this machine because I'm a bit scared of resin. I don't really like the idea of fumes and stuff, and because of that I put the printer not in my own house where I have my family, but I put them in the garage at my parents'. And I suggest you are really careful with resin, all sorts of resins, and you wear protection and all that stuff when handling it. The smell of the UV resin, of the eco resin, it's not that bad compared to the normal resin, and I think I might continue using this. I just got 2 liters of regular resin though that I'm gonna use up first. Is it worth the extra money? I don't feel that it's such a big investment because you use so little material. After buying the printer and the cure machine, having resin that's twice as expensive won't really harm you. And against other people's advice, I've been buying my resin from AliExpress, and until now I obviously don't have any issue with it. And it seems I bought it from Anycubic official store, they're called, and it actually seems to be legit. And for the wash and cure machine, do I recommend that? I really do, just for the ease of use. Otherwise, you don't want to handle the uncured resin and having to like juggle with it and put it in the window and washing it by hand. I just dunk my parts in these alcohol filled bottles to rinse off the worst, and then I put it in the let me say, this container. Especially now at $100 and something, $120, it's worth it not having to hassle with all the stuff. So there it is. That's my first impression of 3D resin printing. I'm really impressed by the quality of the minis that I print. I'm really excited to try to use this for other projects, for my own builds. And if you have any questions, just write them in the comment section, and probably not me and will answer it, but somebody will. And that's what's so great, just helping each other out. I suggest going to Patreon and start funding Titan Forge to make them produce more of these awesome minis to print. And by doing that, you get access to their Facebook page, where you can ask any questions without feeling stupid. So there it is. First 3 days. So far, no issue. And I might do an update in a month or so, just to see how my thoughts have changed or been confirmed. Take care and stay healthy.